her experience growing up part of a musical household, the new season of Braxton Family Values, and her new VH1 show, To Catch a Beautician. But first, let's check out a clip from the VH1 show.
Quarantine got your hair a mess? At least it doesn't look like this.
Girl, you got a hole in your head.
Tamar Braxton, celebrity hair slayer, and Johnny Wright, A-list stylist, are here to bust bad dues.
Y'all ready?
It was a choppy mess.
This May, it's time to catch him.
It's about to go down. Wait.
Confront him.
What is that?
I did that to your hair?
And school him.
Now it's time for you to redeem yourself.
To Catch a Beautician, new series premieres Monday, May 25th, only on VH1.
Please welcome Tamar Braxton. Tamar, what's good?
Hi, it's all good. That's what's good.
Okay, we have a lot to talk about, and I'm glad. Yeah. I want to first say thank you for being here because we'll get to that later, but thank you for being here. I think this is an important moment right here, and I appreciate you. So first of all, how are you dealing with everything that's happening? We had COVID-19, and then right after that, we have all these protests, and it's a little overwhelming for a lot of people. So how are you dealing with everything?
It is a lot, and it was COVID, and what I don't like to do is marry the two together, although it did happen back to back. I think it's irresponsible to, say, oh, it was COVID, something that happened for 4 months, and compare it to something that's been happening for 400 years. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that's a line in between. Yes, it was COVID. Praise God, we made it through. Won't he make a way? And now we're dealing with something that has, needs to be dealt with and that has needed to be dealt with for the past 400 years. And, I thank God for COVID and the time that we all have been in the house, for the whole world to be paying attention to the depths of, our hurt and our pain that we have been expressing for years. And I think now the whole world has been paying attention to what we've been talking about. So I'm grateful for that. But it's been a lot.
I hear what you're saying about not minimalizing what we've been going through with COVID. But I think, I asked my friends, what's different about this time, right? We've had our hearts broken many times before this, with Tamir Rice, 12 years old, shot in Cleveland, Sandra Bland, Mike Brown, the list goes on and on, right? But I think the only reason that COVID, to me, is a little bit of a factor is because a lot of people were in the house, bored, and they paid attention because we've been talking about this for a long time. And finally, we're getting some allies that are not just black and brown. You know what I mean? Like, it's not enough. Like, I tell my white friends, if you have a black friend and you're not doing anything or speaking up, you don't really have a black friend. If you just are okay with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So.
I think that the world didn't pay attention to the millennials. The millennials absolutely normally doesn't see a color. My nephews, they'll have black, white, yellow, Puerto Rican, Asian, whoever at the house. And they don't even talk about race because that's not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about the fact whether they vibe with somebody or not, And I think that it's such a beautiful thing to see white people, Asian people, black people, Puerto Rican people, Indian people outside protesting for the cause. You know what I mean? That's only a gift from God and our amazing ancestors who, have paved the way for us. And I think that, like I said before, COVID made a lot of people pay attention to what we've been going through for 400 years.
I agree. So a lot of people are using this time for self-reflection. On top of, we talked earlier about how we've been eating and gaining weights and having fun. Yeah. And that's okay. What is this time in the house? No one's able to tour or go to events. Yeah. What has this time taught you about yourself as far as like self-reflection? Anything?
Yeah. Well, I went back to school. So I've been taking some courses at Harvard. And I wanted to make sure that I spent some time, with myself and bettering myself, on top of being a first grade teacher that I didn't sign up for, but that's a whole nother situation. But we got through that, and thank God for summer break. Won't he do it? And it's, here's the thing. I don't want to sound like COVID has been this amazing vacation because people were really sick. People really lost loved ones. It really was touch and go for the whole world, at one point. But what I do have to say is I got a chance to know myself. I got a chance to know my kid even more, because I'm a working mother, and really all I knew was dropping him off at school and picking him up at school and getting dinner on the table and putting him to bed at night. But this time I got to, learn more about him. Although he's 6, I got to learn about his favorite subjects in school. What does he like to eat during lunch? What does he need help with at school? So, I took that time to turn it around into a positive, because at first, let me tell you something, I had the COVID blues because I was quarantined 2 days before my birthday. And I was like, where's my friends? Where's my cake? Where's my balloons? Where's my shots? And it was absolutely none of that. But what I did learn is that you have to start looking at situations differently for them to turn out differently. So it turned out amazing.
I think that's the theme of this whole conversation. You know what I mean? Like looking at things differently. And sometimes we're forced to, and I think a lot of people are learning to prioritize things that, maybe they overlooked, and letting some things go that aren't as big of a deal, I think I personally, for me, like that's how it's been for me. Like, life can be short. You can go to CVS and catch something and not really recover from it.
Yeah.
So you come from a close-knit family. I've had 2 of your sisters on the show. Has it been tough not being around your sisters, or has it been a welcome break?
Okay, well, we live in different places anyway, right? So Tony and I live here in LA, and the rest of my sister, Trina Twan, live in Atlanta. Tracy lives in Maryland with my dad and my brother. So, we're kind of used to like Skyping and like FaceTiming. So it really wasn't that much different. It's just, this is the longest I've been without my mom, and that's been tough. But anything other than that, we're used to, the FaceTime and stuff, because we all live in different places.
So Logan celebrated his 7th birthday over the weekend. Did you do anything special, or what were you able to do?
Well, I had a Skype party for him, which was very interesting. I'm raising myself. He's just like me. He had a meeting with my mother and myself about what we're going to do for his birthday, since he can't have any kids and stuff over. Yeah, I'm raising myself. And so, I came up with the idea of like putting together like birthday boxes, and I sent them US mail. It wasn't anything too overly expensive. And I sent like cake mix and like games and like party favors. And so, his friends was able to, put up happy birthday behind them, so we can all, Skype and Zoom, and we watch Sonic. And that's what they do when they're 6. They want to eat and watch TV.
It's been nice seeing how creative people are getting out of necessity with all this. Like it's cute, I think.
It is, but when they're 6, it's tough, because we forget that, as kids, going to school is their time. Like, when we go to work, is our time away from our families, away from our men, away from everything else. We're at work. We're in our work environment. But, we didn't realize that at school is when kids get to play with their kids. I mean, get time to play with their friends. I'm sorry. And, get to know each other on a different, childish level that we can't really provide at home. I know I can, because he's the only child. Mm-hmm. So that was really tough. And to have a birthday during quarantine for a 6-year-old, and then for him to be so understanding about it, I just think the kids have really done really, really well with it.
Well, nice. It sounds like you made him have a good day. So listen, Tamar, before we move forward, I want to address a misunderstanding between us that happened when we appeared on a show together. I don't know, about 8 years ago. We worked together and it got weird. And I just want to clear the air with it, because we've never had a conversation about what it was, and I'm not even sure myself. So I want to just ask you, let's just put everything on the table, because I would love, like I said earlier, what I learned during COVID, and actually a little bit before that, is life can be short, and sometimes things seem bigger the more time go by, and they really could probably be hashed out over one conversation. And I really want to do that with you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I do. And I appreciate you coming on here and being open to it. So let's hash it out and put it to bed and then be done with it. Are you cool with that?
I'm absolutely cool with that. But I just want to give you this disclaimer, Claudia. I did not come here to fight or argue.
Oh, no.
Or with anyone else. I know that a lot of people see me on TV and think that they know this girl to be somebody else and to be wrapped up into certain things that I'm 150% against, believe it or not. I 100% am into girl power. I'm into people getting along. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends will tell you that I'm the person who's trying to always bring people together and let's forgive and let's just forget about it. It's not really that serious. And what I want to talk about in terms of you and I is I think that it was a misunderstanding on top of a situation when I didn't put myself in your shoes and you didn't put yourself in my shoes. You say you didn't remember what happened. You remember what happened?
I wasn't sure because I know the first day of filming the talk show, we were cool. Like we were high-fiving each other. And then the next day to me, I felt like it was during that conversation about first dates. It went left. And I don't think you know this, but I went to the dressing room and I cried and I told producers, I don't want to work on a show where I'm fighting with people. And I was hurt because I didn't know you like that and I didn't know where it came from. So we might be thinking it's two different things. So I really want to know what it was for you that rubbed you the wrong way with me and vice versa. Like, I feel like
So for me, you got to understand, I grew up with a bunch of girls, right? Mm-hmm. So I am used to having disagreements with females. Like, okay, you feel this way, I feel this way. We move on, bum, 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 right? For me, it wasn't about a disagreement. I don't even remember, what conversation you're talking about in particular, and I apologize for that. But for me, things turned differently when we were talking about Omarosa during the break. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay, we were talking about Omarosa during the break, and I remember when she lost her then fiance, and we were neighbors, but we didn't become like really cool neighbors until we ran into her and her ex at a restaurant. And maybe like a week and a half after that, he, had a heart attack, and he was a good friend of yours, right? He was a friend of yours. Mm-hmm. He had a heart attack and he passed. But before he passed, it was a period where he was basically kind of hanging on. And she reached out to me and she remembered when my ex-husband got sick and his life was in the balance, and she wanted to know, what should she do? What does she do about family? Just all the questions that you never think that you would need the answer to. And, her reaching out to me meant a lot because it is a small society of women who are in that position when they lose, they man or almost lose their man. It's really, really tough. Outside of them dying, it's everything that comes along, with it. I remember when Vince got really sick, they bought me a stack of papers this thick to sign and fill out while this man was on his dying bed. And I just remember not wanting to deal with that because I wanted to deal with my feelings and I wanted to deal with my man. And how do I get him, healthy, and what can I do? And you're suddenly faced with all of these hard business decisions. And so my feelings toward her was different, because I didn't know her for a long period of time, but I knew that we shared this common thing. And when I
said something negative about her to you, I do remember that. And I will admit that I did say something negative about her. Yep.
But it wasn't just about her. It was about the situation for me. Yeah. And it was still raw for me. And so I was like, oh my God, why is this girl judging this lady like that? She has no idea how hard that is, losing a spouse, losing your life, having to figure it out, having to figure out family. And then on top of that, you got doctors talking about, I need you to can you fill this paperwork out because you ain't finna sue us when this dude die, right. And then I just thought it was inconsiderate. And it was just that moment for me that made me disconnect. And, I don't know about the other stuff because other than that, I was cool. It didn't bother me. But I think that me being a grown person now and knowing who I am now wouldn't have reacted that way. I think that was the Tamar that was immature and just totally looking at things from my perspective. As I mentioned before, sometimes you got to put yourself in somebody else's perspective. That was your friend who died. So of course you're going to have his back. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't look at that. So instead of
you were done with me after that, you were like, I'm not here for her. And I felt it. I didn't know what it was. So thank you for telling me that, because I was like, was it that? Was it this? So, and now my side was, I was friends with her for years, and a mutual friend of ours that I grew up with introduced me to her. I never watched her on reality TV. Actually, I was late to all reality TV shows. Before Housewives, I only watched it a few episodes, right? So I didn't watch her on reality TV. So I got to know her outside of that. So I never judged her by what everybody else said. So I became really friends with her, and then also friends with her with Michael. And so he used to come by the set of Deal or No Deal because he used to know a makeup artist there, and we were like cool as hell. And when she was with them, I saw her soften and become. I was like here for that. So when he passed, a month later, we had to film Celebrity Apprentice. And I had a lot of conversations with her that really disgusted me, Tamar. Like, I wouldn't say something bad about someone that just lost someone unless it was something that really shook me, right? When you're, I don't know how much I should say, but because I don't want to be messy again, but like, if you lost a friend and their woman is talking to you about their black card when he's only in the ground for 1 month, and then I got the family members reaching out to me, begging me to help them get their story out. So I'm like in the middle, and they wanted me to like champion their cause. And I said, if I do, it's gonna make me look like I'm being petty with her. So I can't. I can be an ear for y'all to listen to. So I'm getting all of the family. Like I had aunts and cousins and like people. I don't know why they came to me like, help us get our story out, our side. Like they had a different take on everything. And I don't want to dig it all up, but so I went from being disappointed in my friend, like, damn, yo, like he just passed. And I don't like to reduce people to money. And it made me not be friends with her anymore. And so when we shot the show, it was not that long afterwards. So I was vocal, and I probably should have kept it to myself. But like I had a very visceral, strong reaction to her because I'm looking at it like someone got to have Michael's back too. You know what I'm saying? And
I don't want to cut you off, but I don't necessarily feel like she didn't have his back because, you know, you're just not going to be laying with nobody and having nobody pumping on you and bumping on you for months and months about to marry somebody and you don't have no feelings for him. I mean, some girls can do that, but you know, she was a woman of, you know, of a certain age and, you know, I do believe that they truly loved each other, and I saw them out together. So that was my just experience. But let me just touch on something. Let me just tell you about grief. I don't know if you lost anybody that's close to you like that, but I just recently lost my niece a year ago. Okay, and that was my first experience with death close to me. And somebody who passes that are that close to you, as difficult as it is, sometimes you think you're going to deal with it one way and you don't deal with it the way that you think you're going to deal with it. Now, I got a lot of backlash for a while because a lot of people thought that I didn't deal with my niece's death the way that they would deal with her death. I was on the road with Candy. I still went out on the road. I still did my shows, but I had to do them to cope. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I couldn't and didn't want to be by myself. And I didn't want to have time to think, and I didn't want to have time to reflect. And I just think that sometimes that we need to take a step back, especially when people are going through things, not to judge them, not to get involved, but let them go through what they're going through and let them get over it, how they're going to get over it. Because you never know what they're dealing with by themselves when they're in the room by themselves. Some days, I'm not even going to lie to you, Claudia, I was clawing out of the door to make it on stage. I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do it. And then for the public to come at me so hard, yeah, I did say some things that were out of order, but I was grieving. Sometimes you say things when you're grieving. Sometimes you say some real fucked up shit, like some crazy out of line stuff when you're grieving, because you're in your body, but you're not really in your body. You're not in your real thoughts. It's like you lose it for a second. So, I mean, that's just what I want to say about grief. And I just think that she was judged and it wasn't fair. And grief is grief. And, you know, I'm not saying his family didn't have a right to say things or feel a certain kind of way. I don't even know all the details. Don't want to know my business, really.
I don't want to kick it back up because for me to have that reaction, I felt like I had to champion them. You know what I mean? Like, I totally respect what you're saying. And you're right. People shouldn't judge the way other people grieve. They shouldn't. But like on the flip side of that, I'm also grieving my friend. Nowhere near as important as her relationship with him. I'm not even comparing that. But I felt like he's not here anymore. And I felt like I had to have it. I felt like I was having his back. You know what I mean? And I'm glad we're talking about this because I also think in this cancel culture with social media, if someone doesn't say something or feel the same way as another person, everyone's so quick to like brush them off. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. I mean, F that. I wouldn't have done it like that. So she shouldn't have. And we got to stop because I grew up the way I grew up, and so did you. I have to, like, this times I wanted to jump in what you were saying, but I had to shut up because you know what? You have valid opinions and valid points that I cannot, your feelings and your opinions on this they're not right, they're not wrong. They're not, let me not say that, they're not wrong. And so are mine. So I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation. And now that I know, and that was about 8 years ago. And I think that we both have evolved since that. And I'm glad we're having this because we can have different opinions on Omarosa. A lot of people do. And I respect what you're saying. And I hope you respect my feelings. I came from a champion of the underdog, save the family, you know what I mean? And you're coming from, that's my friend. I have her back. And I respect that. And I'm glad that I finally know what it is. And I think that's something that's get passable. You feel me? Like,
yeah. But I was coming from, that's my friend, but I was coming from a person that was just going through it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we're not like this, never been like that. You know what I mean? But we share this common thing between, you know, somebody who's been through the same thing. Yeah. Except for Vince lived. Praise God.
On that note,
that's my friend, but I'm just saying he lived. I'm just saying he's different. So,
on that note, from here on out, Tamar, you know, we had some hostile words on Instagram and social media, and I think other people added fuel to the fire.
No, since you came for me, sis, you was mad at me, honey.
Well, after the night of the shooting, there was like some tweets that you did, and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't know that what it was. So I think we both thought each other started it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll take that.
Because the night of filming, we were at the studios filming and way out in the. Remember, we was at the Ritz way out where we were filming the show. And that night I got a tweet about, and I was like, it's like, always the girls with no man. I was like, oh shit. So, and I was going through my shit. Like I had a lot of stuff happening.
I said that.
Girl, B Scott hit me, was like, damn, I retweet. Like, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know her like that. But anyways.
That's what I'm saying. How I know you ain't had no man? How did I know I was talking about you?
Because on the show, we had to talk about being single. But I think it was 8 years ago. I would like to think we both evolved and grown since then. Obviously we have, or we wouldn't be able to both be here on this show. So I would like to put that to bed, and I like to reintroduce myself to you today, Tamar. Hi, I'm Claudia, and I don't want to build a friendship or build a whatever based on talking shit about anybody else anyway. So I'm done with that. If we can move on from that. Are we cool on that?
Oh, absolutely. Hi, I'm Tamar. I'm a Pisces. I like swimming, cycling, and chocolate men. Praise God.
Well, we're gonna get more into that after we click.
Listen, let me just say something, and I just want to say something to everybody who's watching out there. You know, this is a very awkward temperature and culture that's happening outside of these walls that we're all in. And if we're talking about a revolution, and we're talking about being together, building something together, why would I be on this broadcast with this African-American woman fighting and arguing with her?
We're not fighting.
I don't want to do that. I don't want y'all to do that. I want y'all to put things to bed. I want you guys to unite, and I want you guys to inspire, okay? And be inspired by us. Put things to bed. It's not that serious, okay? It's already hard going out here fighting against other people. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. We're not going
to fight each other. That's done. We're done. We're not going to allow people to throw that up in our faces anymore. Okay? Because we're not going to fight each other. We're not going to speak ill about each other in public. You got something against me? DM me, and we're going to hash it out in private. We're not going to do this publicly no more. Because we're going to set the example. We have to teach people how to treat us.
Yes.
That's what I got to say.
Well, you know what? We can leave that in 2012. And it is 2020. We can't be out here complaining, like you said, about other people treating us wrong if we can't get it together. And I think this is a good example. I hope other women are inspired about, let me talk to that person about what it was. I don't even know what it was. And then we got people throwing gasoline on the flames because they were. And here we are. So listen, it's done. You will not hear me say anything negative of you from this day forward. You have my word. It's on camera. It's on film. And if y'all see me doing that, y'all can call me out.
Oh, the Tamar's gonna play it for you, boo. No, I'm joking.
I'm so sick of them and your people. I'm commenting on things that had nothing to do with you. They're like, she's throwing shade at Tamar. I'm like, no, I'm not. Please.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad. I'm
Well,
glad.
good. Well, we got that out the way. Now we can talk about your fabulous career. We're gonna take a quick break, Tamar, and I'm gonna refill my glass because woo. And we good now, and we're gonna drink to moving forward, okay? And
Moving forward,
Tamar. I appreciate that. We'll be back with more
positive vibes only.
after the break. Tamar Braxton, and we have squashed the beef. So Tamartians, chill out. It's all good. We can move forward. We are moving forward as a people, okay? Tamar, I've had two of your sisters on the show. What was it like growing up in a household of singers? Was it constant American Idol in the house? Was it just competition?
Well, from what I've been told, I've worked on my sister's nerves because, I used to sing all day long, and I used to use the nail polish, everything, the deodorant, everything would be on everything that was on the counter. I would bring them together as a choir, and I'm directing all notes, honey, and it was singing all in my ear. And yeah, people might have thought I was special, but I was doing it, singing all day.
Was there never a question that this was what you were gonna do, to sing, or what did you ever have like if I don't make it as a singer, I'll be this, or was it always singing?
No, it was never an option for me. I thought that I'd be Mariah Carey by the time I was 18 because I wanted to be on Star Search when I was about 6-7 years old. And it was never a question for me, ever.
So there was no plan B. You were like, that's it. It's happening.
No, I didn't even know that Tony wanted to be a singer before. I had no idea. Like, that's always been something that I've always wanted to do. We are almost 11 years apart. And so, like, when I'm 6 years old, was she 16? Like, she wasn't out there singing by herself then. Like, I've always wanted to be a singer.
Does she have a different plan first?
First when?
For
me?
Before the singing that she did, because you said you didn't know she wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. Tony wanted to be a school teacher.
Really?
Ain't that funny?
Yeah.
Come on, Miss Braxton, teach math.
So I'm assuming there was a friendly competition, because I'm getting from the little bit I've been around, there's a little bit, you're competitive. Is that fair?
No, I'm not. I wish I was.
Are you not competitive?
Not one in my body.
Really?
It's not fair. I really would like to. But I'm not competitive at all. I'm the youngest. So I didn't have to have that muscle. You know what I mean? I didn't have to want to be better than my oldest sibling. No, I wanted to learn from them. And I wanted to be like them, not be better than them. I mean, because in my eyes, growing up, they were great role models. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were educated, super duper smart. They were driven, talented. I didn't want to, be better or bigger than them. I always wanted to be like them.
Did you feel as the youngest that you had to prove yourself? Because if you're looking at them like they're here, do you feel like I got to prove myself to them?
I didn't feel that way until I became much older. Because I feel like I've always been looked at as the youngest. They call me baby, and I always correct them. Like, I'm not a baby, I'm the youngest. A little different. So in that aspect, yes, but I didn't think that, I had to overdo it. I just think that I've always been different. I've always been the loudest. I've always been the person who gives my unsolicited advice and opinions. And I believe that, that's something at some point they accepted about me. Mm-hmm. Not so much no more, because it can be a lot. And I get that too as an adult.
Do you think you're misunderstood because you just admitted you're the loudest, you're very opinionated? Do you think you're misunderstood? And what do you think is the biggest misconception about you?
I think the biggest misconception is that I'm always like that. I'm like that when I feel passionately about something, or when I feel like somebody's wrong about something and I'm showing you points and I feel like I'm not being heard. I don't feel like all the time am I like, no, only when it causes for that. But these days I've retired that, I just feel like if you don't want to listen, if you don't want to listen, if you don't hear me, okay, good night, praise God, I'm going to go eat.
So do you feel like are you calmer and more like you can have that now? Is that how you are now? Would you say you're more like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a choice. I feel like if you want a different result, you have to change your approach, and I was basically tired of the results that I was hearing and getting. Like, oh, she's difficult. She can't get along, and she's loud, and and everybody always thought that I was dramatic and drama. And I'm the total opposite. Total opposite.
Were you unhappy back then when you had that? When that was
I don't know if I can attribute that to being unhappy. There was definitely things going on in my life that I didn't speak about publicly. But I think that I didn't have anybody at the time to bring it to my attention and hold me accountable for it. Because are you speaking about Vince? I call things like I see. I call things like
in general with life, because like I don't think you should just get all your happiness from life. It could be career, it could be your friends in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like
I had great friends, so I thought for a short period of time. And you know, in my relationship, I felt like I was frustrated, but I was happy. But I didn't really have a lot of people to hold me accountable for the things that I was saying. You know, I am the youngest in my family, and I was like looked at as, oh, that's just Tamar talking, and she's the youngest, that's just her, or whatever. But when it came to like the way I wanted to be perceived in business and outside of my family, I thought that behavior was acceptable because my family accepted me for who I was.
That's a slippery slope, right? Because they probably do that because you are the baby, right? They're like, that's Tamar being Tamar, but it doesn't probably help you. But now you said you're being held accountable. Can I ask, we know you're in a relationship. Does your new guy, and you look very happy and with him. Does your
I am very happy. You know, he's been a very positive force in my life. But you know, I want to hold him accountable for that, but I can't. It is ultimately myself and my decisions and me wanting to be a better me. And also lots of counseling, honey, that works. I know a lot of my African-American females don't like it, but it really does work.
Have y'all gone together or you go individually?
Oh, no. I you know, definitely wanted to go to counseling by myself, for myself, because I didn't want to go to counseling to be somebody else's wife. I wanted to go to counseling to be the best woman that I could be, and somebody that I could be proud of, and somebody who keeps elevating because I have the tools to keep doing that for me.
I think that's powerful. I think when people go to counseling for someone, you're not really fixing the problem, because a lot of times you're the problem. It's not always them, right?
Period.
Tamar, we have some viewer comments. Empress says, Tamar's voice really surprised me. I was blown away when I heard her voice on Love and War. It doesn't match her speaking voice. Also ask her, does she still cook when she's stressed? And she says her voice, sis' voice is iconic, like really.
Oh, that's so sweet. During this COVID, I released a single. I did a movie with Manny Haley. I know, okay, but I did. It is called True to the Game. True to the Game too. And I did a song. And I mentioned all of that to mention this, okay? Right after Vince and I got, divorced and stuff, I said I wasn't going to do music. I was done with it. I had nothing else to say. This is it for me. And, then I released this single, and yesterday it just went into the top 10. And I'm just really grateful to God, because he knows what you really, truly want. It's like we say things on the surface because we're upset and we're emotional, and we really don't know. And sometimes we can speak negativity over our life because we're not clear. We don't really know what we really want, but he knows what's best for us. And so, I'm just really grateful for the people who didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself, even my voice, something that I've always believed in since I was a kid. And remember, I told you I didn't want to be anything else, but yet along the way, because I'm frustrated and because, I'm not really sure who I am in my life, I gave up on that. That doesn't even make any sense, right? But, it's the people out there who didn't give up on me and still love my voice and reminds me of my gifts. And that's why it's in the situation that it's in today. And I'm really grateful for that.
Congratulations. Your song, My Man, is a fan favorite. Is that about your new guy?
No, my man was 3 years ago, sis. That's how much we ain't been talking.
I ain't talking since 2012.
Actually, what's the name of I don't even remember the name of the song because I haven't performed it yet. So I don't have huh?
Is it My Man?
No, sis, that's 3 years ago. Stay with it.
I haven't been talking to you. We ain't been fooling with each other for 8 years now. I got a lot of
No,
So
no.
that wasn't about him. So, um, what is it about him that you love so much?
That he's positive. That he's amazing and he's great with my kid, and um, he doesn't allow me to stay in gunk. You know, he always asks, okay, so what do you want? What's the result from this? Okay, so you're gonna be in the bed all day today because you're upset, and then what's tomorrow? What's the resolve? He really makes me look at myself and look at my goals and set my goals and achieve my goals because I am held accountable. So with me learning that tool from counseling, this is the energy that I'm projecting. So therefore, this is the energy that I'm receiving back.
That's really important because when you have one person that's, I'm going to say famous, celebrity, all these things that are surface things, but they are things, you know, a partner could easily, you know, be passive, and to have someone that holds you accountable, that's like, yeah, that's cool. That's what you do. But I'm going to tell you the real. We need that, right? Kind of, because all your fans are not going to tell you. The fans are not going to tell you they're going to.
No, mine tell me.
You know?
Oh, what? Absolutely, positively. And I appreciate that. And so, you know, when I released Crazy Kind of Love, they were like, okay, it's a little short, but we like her. We're going to support you because it's a great song. Yeah, they tell me about myself. And that's what I was saying about the energy that you put out. So you got to be very careful about the energy that you put out. If you're putting out a bunch of negativity, what you're going to be receiving is a bunch of negativity in every single realm of your life, in your relationship, in your job, in your family life. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get negative, period. So because I put that out, that's what I get back, positivity.
You do. You are coming off this way. And I have no reason to lie to you because we just started talking after 8 years. So you do. I see it. And we have some more comments. V says, Tamar, will you design, actually a couple people, will you design shoes again? And Jameis Freeland says, girl, nobody believed you were done with music. We needed you. And again, he says, when will you be designing shoes again? They want these shoes.
Yeah, you know, Tamar collection was such a blessing. And my shoes were like the best part of it for me because I'm a shoe girl. Everybody knows that about me. And girl, my shoe came with a dust bag, honey, came with a cute little box. And, you know, listen, I'm a girl who believes in saving her coin. And when I do spend my coin, I want quality. Okay. So therefore, I am never going to put out a product that I don't believe in. B, that's not going to work like my You Go Girl, because that works. Look at my edges. They back. Stop praying for me. And then my shoes. Yes, they're coming back. Well, supposed to be 2020. Nobody knows the future holds. But, you know, things were happening before COVID and before this whole revolution. So I can't tell you when because nobody knows the answer to anything. But they are.
This edges thing, because I remember the internet was talking a lot of trash about you and all that.
Yes, look.
Let's talk about this. So let's get the
real.
edges. Okay, I see them.
Okay, so listen. My edges fell out when I had Logan.
Got it. And that's common, right? That's common with pregnancy?
Initially.
It wasn't some wigs and weaves and all the, like the stress.
And then, yeah, you keep your braids in too long. Like I was just telling everybody the other day on my YouTube show on Monday, like, yo, like if you look at my interviews from To Catch a Beautician, you'll see that I am edgeless and hopeless, okay? Because I had these braids in my head for 3 months. But I wasn't taking them out in front of this chocolate delicious man, praise God. But they stayed in and my edges suffered. I started using, oh my God, you broke her. And it came, look, God, it came back. Look.
How long did that take to get the edges to start coming
Okay,
back?
so if I did my interviews in quarantine. So we started in April. What is this, June?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Thank me later, Pooh.
Okay. Listen, we're going to talk more about Tamar's edges coming back full and strong in a brand new show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more with Tamar Braxton in just a minute.
Thank you.
Back to Out Loud with your girl, Claudia Jordan. We have Tamar Braxton on the show. Yes, pigs are flying. Tamar and I have squashed the beef. We are cooking tonight, having tea and, well, actually not tea. I'm having vodka and ginger ale. What you having again?
Oh, I'm getting a refill from chocolate.
Oh, okay. So still quarantined together, getting back to Getting that quarantine D. Okay. So let's talk about the show, the Braxton Family Values. Was it hard for you to open up? Because reality TV is, you got a lot of people comment on your business and it's annoying, right? So was it hard for you to open up about, stuff that's happening in your life?
Oh, no. We can hear you though, David. But no, it wasn't. Initially, no. When we all first did the Braxtons, I created it because I just felt like it's 5 different African American females who are all in different walks of life. And I just felt like, somebody in my family you can identify with and we could learn from by watching it, because it was designed to be a positive show, just to bring some enlightenment to your life. I don't like where that show, along with a few other shows, are now. And I don't like, how things are portrayed, especially as Black women. Oh, yeah. I feel like we have more of a responsibility than that. And I just don't feel like I'm doing much to the African American community by always arguing and fighting with my sisters about whatever's going on in their life. And then what's going on, in our lives as a family. I don't feel like all Black families are like that. I don't feel like that kind of Black family television should be shown on television, because I don't know a Black family that is acting like that. I know mine clearly does it when we're not shooting. So for me, I just don't really believe in that kind of television. And that's why, and I ain't plugging nothing, y'all, but that's why I'm just so passionate about To Catch a Beautician, because it's funny, it's fun, it's about real life. It's relatable, and you're helping people, but you also, are getting down to really what's going on at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, there's resolve. And I just don't feel like life has to be so much about fighting, arguing, and bickering. And you said that, and I said this, but then I said that, and I'm putting my hands on you. And then why? Where does that get us? Nowhere. It doesn't. What?
Don't you think it's easy to get like a battery in your back? Because it's not like, okay, say me and you had an argument, right? It's between us. We don't have a gang of people commenting and adding fuel to the fire, and you could probably resolve it, but you cannot resolve. It's so hard to really resolve things because it just keeps being brought up, and everyone wants to voice their opinion on it, and they kind of don't it's hard to let stuff die because it's boring. They say they want calm, classy TV shows, right? But when you don't argue, they say it's boring. And then when you
argue, To Catch a Beautician, we ain't arguing like that, and it's not boring. It's fun as hell, and everybody enjoys themselves. Everybody is heard. Okay, the stylist gets a chance at redemption. The person who hair is jacked up get a chance to come on and talk about what happened to their hair and how it affected them emotionally and what it's done to them and their business and whatever, what have you, because our hair is a big deal to us. Okay. And then the beautician, talks about like, well, basically your fault. I told you this, that, and the other what happened, but you wanted the hairdo. And then they get to go through a class with Johnny. And at the end of the day, everybody's heard. The beautician is heard. The person coming to us who's jacked up is heard. And they get to move on. Why do we have to stay stagnant? Why do we have to live in fighting and bull? I want to cuss so bad.
You can.
And bullshit.
You
got enough.
Be free.
Why?
So
why?
Your new show, you are the host, To Catch a Beautician, you and your famous hairstylist Johnny, right?
Johnny, right, yeah.
And so how did that come about?
Well, the executives at VH1 and Scout created this show with me in mind. And when they brought it to me, a lot of people don't know, because it wasn't showed on our family Black show, that my mom was a hairstylist. At first she was a kitchen beautician, but then she went and got her education and became a real hairstylist. And so hair has always been something that's important to us, not just because my mom, was a beautician, but also because it's 5 girls in the house. We're always doing each other hair, always jacking each other up. So, and I'm always changing my hair in my life. And so are my sisters. So when they brought it to me, I'm like, hell yeah, like hair is everything. And not just about hair, but it has everything to do with the emotions that hair brings you. And when I cut my hair off is when my relationship started with my hair. Like I never really took care of my hair. Didn't really care. People was talking about my edges and they were gone. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought I slapped a wig on and I move on. Okay. But up until now is when my relationship really started. And that's because thinking back, I was traumatized. When I was younger, Tracy put this thing in my hair, right? It was like this conditioning perm. And she put the perm in my hair and forgot the neutralizing part. Child, all my hair fell out. Yeah. And so from that day on, I didn't have a connection with my hair. And what I wanted to reintroduce is that, we have to have a connection with our hair. We say our hair is our crown. Yes, it is. It is, our head chakra is very important. This is the part that has to stay open and be open for us to receive, and having a connection with your hair starts with that. You have to care about your hair. And that's why I decided to come up with, oh my God, you broke, girl, because I ain't had no edges and I didn't care. And if I care about my edges and I didn't have none, you should care about yours too. So that's that on that.
Oh my goodness. So you said this show is a show that you're most proud of.
Yeah,
is it because it has more meaning to it? And I'm seeing you're on this positive flow now. And I guess that all makes sense because it's all tying into everything else that's going on in your life with your relationship, your career, and then this show, it's all in step with a more...
Along with my bills that I got to pay. And I got a black son that I got to worry about out here in these streets, okay? And worry about my black man being out here in these streets, and my black daddy and my black brother being out here in these streets, and everything else that comes along, and my baby daddy, how he gonna feel about it? I ain't trying to hurt his feelings. I ain't trying to say too much. I ain't trying to do too much. Oh, and my sisters, I ain't trying to hurt them. I ain't trying to do too much. All along with everyday life issues. Why turn on the TV and worry about somebody else's issue and problem? I got my own. Why not watch something that make me feel good about myself? Why not watch something that makes me want to elevate my life? Why not watch something that I could be proud of as a Black woman in television and in music, and inspire this younger generation and show them that you ain't got to throw no drink in nobody's face. You ain't got to act a donkey and a fool to be on TV. Yes, being famous and having a little coin, yes, that's cute and that's cool, but that does not make up everything of your life. What else would you like to have? Would you like to be educated? Would you like to have an educated conversation with somebody? Would you like to be respected outside of these streets? Yes, you would. But you can't be respected outside these doors acting a fool on TV.
Thank you so much. A lot of people will say, how do I get on reality TV? How do I be famous? And they think it's about going on there and having the most... I think people got to stop being so mean. I'm sick of it.
No, I think we have to stop letting people write the narrative for us.
Yeah.
Okay? I think we have to stop telling people how Black people really live on television. I think it's time for us to stop allowing people to tell Black people that, the only way you're going to get along, the only way you're going to get ratings, and the only way you're going to be famous if you throw a drink in somebody's face and you start a bunch of bullshit all the time and you arguing with somebody. Mm-hmm. No, I don't know any of my friends who act like that. I know I don't.
I've had no arguments with my best friend of 26 years. In 26 years, we've never had an argument. Go on a reality TV show, you have 5 in the first week. And I'm like, this ain't even my real life. I don't even I don't even argue with people like that. So is it the consumers that keep watching those shows, or is it the producers that create them? What do you think?
What do you think?
I think it's both. I think, there have been times people try to do positive shows like Tia and Tamara, and people don't support them like they should. You know what I mean? I hope after COVID and all that that's going on now, that I hope people's tastes change. Like, I'm sick of that. I need some feel-good TV. You ever watch Undercover Boss, where bosses go in and they live amongst the people for a week or so, and they make changes, and they surprise like the people in their company with like changing their lives? I'm crying like a baby every time I see it. I'm like, why?
That's a bit sleepy, but that's the end of the spectrum here. What we're talking about. But I just want
they buying houses.
The Tia and Tamara show actually did very well.
But they canceled. It's not on.
Because the network got canceled, so it had nothing to do with their show. The show actually did very, very well. It is letting people tell us what works for us.
Yeah.
True. That.
Well, we have white writers and white showrunners all the time that they're letting them in the doors and less of us. So they're gonna put their opinion of how they see us out there, right? We need black showrunners. I'm saying we need more black people. And that's why Fox Soul, I mean, it's all.
I'm so here for it.
Yeah.
I'm so here for it. Thank
We are,
God for Jesus.
we're not going to censor any of this. We're not going to edit any of this. You're not going to watch this and be like, I didn't say it like that.
I said what I said. So when you gonna have Nene on this show? When you gonna make up with Nene?
You know what? In real life, the night of the reunion, I said some things to her at the reunion where she appreciated it, and she reached out to me the night of the reunion, 2015, I think it was, or 16. And she said, I appreciate you, what you said to me. As she goes, I know we're not in a good place, but I appreciate what you said, right? But no one sees this part. And then I was like, Nene, I appreciate you, and we good. And we good. And then a year or two later, I see her crustaceans. We take a picture together. We go, yo, we gonna like mess up everybody's head right now. And we both posted the picture. Everybody was tripping. Then we posted another one, and it was crazy. But since then, on this show, I had to talk about the reunion, and I asked a question about the show. It took a left, and it got made into, I'm talking bad about her, and I'm trashing her. And I'm like, when you host a show, and you know how this goes, Tamar, you got to talk about hot topics. You're not dogging someone by talking about hot topics, but it just went left. I have no issue with her, and I would love to invite her on. I would love to do this with her because I think we squashed it, then it got bad again, then we squashed it, and it got, you know what I mean?
Well, Becky, I'm just gonna be honest because that's just, who I am. I saw you and Candy on here in that episode with T.S. Madison because that's my sis, and I love Candy too. But the notation wasn't positive, and I think the same thing happened to us. I think that once, and I'm guilty of it too. It's not just you. That once you kind of have like this little ill thing with somebody, it kind of trickles on. It keeps going, especially if somebody else is saying something. You got something else to say. You throw your little part on there too. I didn't know that you two had a hardcore issue like that, and I definitely didn't know that Candy and Nene had an issue like that, and that bothers me because those two are people that I look up to because they're both entrepreneurs, amazing business women. And I think, and I'm just going to put it out there because I say this often, that Candy and Nene would be great friends. I would. I lived with Candy for 30 days in the Big Brother house.
Yeah.
I know that
you guys got issues on the house too, right? Like you guys had issues in
hell yeah, we had issues in the house. We had issues in the house because we had unresolved issues when we went in the house together. But like you and I, and like I believe Nene and you and Candy will work it out. We worked it out, and Candy was there for me in a way that I would never, speak ill about her, period, because she was there for me when my niece passed. She was there the day she passed. Yeah. And the way that she was there for me, and a lot of people like, oh, you shady, didn't say no, I'm not. I just don't agree with everything. I don't agree with her and Nene fighting like that. I don't like it. I just feel like some of it could be produced.
I don't know the issue because I don't watch the show, but I have to like comment on the show, on this show. So it may come across as shady, but I don't know what their thing is. Like I know what happened in 2015 with all of us. And like, you're right. When time goes by and you don't speak to that person and then someone says something, you're like, whatever. You know what I mean? You ain't really here for them. I don't hate her, but you're not really, and honestly, Tamar, after that show, I had so many people that continue that narrative. The things that were said in our fight it was like really horrible, like what we said to each other. The fans keep it going. Like they be in my inbox saying, repeating, and I'm like, it was 5 years ago. Like I'll say it right now, Nene Leakes, if you ever want to come on here and we can have a real conversation, I'm not afraid of it with anyone. And if I'm wrong about something, I'll apologize. I'll apologize for what I said about Omarosa to you. I don't still deal with her, but I'll apologize. I didn't need to say that about her to you. You know what I mean? I didn't need to do that. And now I'm trying to not do that, like bite my tongue. I don't have to say everything that I think. You know what I'm saying?
I learned that too. You're not in this alone. I learned that too. And that's a part of growing. And that's the choices that I was talking about earlier in making. You have to make the choice to be positive. It's hard as hell. It's not easy, but you have to make the choice to live a better life, to tell a different story. You know what I'm saying? And what I really have learned, Claude, when you give love, you get love, sis. Irregardless to what people are saying in your inbox or what people want you to be in, no time for it. Look how God has blessed you. Look how you up and up and up and up. Yeah, you ain't got no time for that negativity. No. I love you, sis, no matter what.
I appreciate
we can talk about whenever.
I'm going to say the same thing back to you because honestly, I had a couple of drinks before the show because I was honestly nervous about this because
You thought you was coming on to get red on your own show? I ain't gonna do you like that.
No, I didn't think I was getting read. I can read too, honey.
Yes, you can. I saw that.
I wasn't
And I
afraid.
enjoyed that.
But I didn't want this to go negative. And I'm glad you came with an open heart just like I did. I actually prayed before this. I go, please let a resolve come out of this and let this be a positive thing. And I even called one of my producers today. I go, how was she about? And I was like, I really do. This is a long time coming. And to know that it wasn't anything that I did to you and you did. I mean, we had little dumb shit on Instagram, but that's water under the bridge. I appreciate that we can do that. And I hope other women watching this right now can say, you know what? I need to call so-and-so because at the end of the day, that wasn't a big deal. Or maybe I can tell her how I felt, and she can tell me how she felt, and we can just put this to bed. Because when your song Love and War came out, I heard it on the radio and I was banging. I'm like, damn it, I can't sing along with it because it's damn Tamar Braxton. We ain't in the cool place. But it was banging. And I'm gonna tell you that right now. I can celebrate you now with and feel good about it. And I'm glad we had this conversation. I really am.
I am too. And don't ever let, your hating take over an amazing song or an amazing look or how amazing somebody looked. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it was all right.
Hating on somebody take over how excellent somebody else is. And you know what? That's an obstacle too. Sometimes you have got to inquire the spirit of the hush. It's very powerful, Don't write that comment under somebody's box, Yep. Text it to yourself. You got to get it out, Mm-hmm. Just ask God for the spirit of the hush, and I bet you your life will change.
Yeah. I feel like I've always had to defend myself, and I'm not. I'm gonna try. I'm working on that. I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet. I will not be one of those people that say I have it all figured out because I don't. I don't. I'm not perfect. I think none of us are, but that's what makes life fun. We're going to get there. We're going to work on it. Tamar Braxton, I appreciate you. Please tell everybody when they can watch your show and how they can support you.
Well, To Catch a Petition comes on every single Monday on VH1 at 9 o'clock. It's so fun. It's so good, y'all. It's like the best show on TV. I say that all the time. And also, please go get you, girl. Y'all gonna get your life back. Summertime's coming. Y'all gonna want to be in the wind. You don't want your weeds holding up the light and save the world from darkness. This be dark when you ain't got no edges, honey. Okay? Go get you some. And on top of that, thank you guys. Listen, just for accepting a girl who was lost and didn't know who she was and decided to make a change and gave me an opportunity to show you all different and to show you all a different kind of way to move forward and to escalate and elevate in your life. If I did it, you can do it. Any dark time that you have, you don't have to stay there. You can make the choice to be better. I did it.
And I know we're going to end it on that note, Tamar Braxton. It has been a pleasure. And when we're back in the studio in LA, I would love to invite you onto the show to promote anything you've got going on in the studio at Fox. So thank you so much, sis.
Thank you. You're going to be booked. You don't invite everybody, child.
You're going to take my shit to leave me alone now. We cool now, damn it. All right, y'all, stick around. We got the Mike and Donnie show coming up next on Fox Soul, the place where miracles can happen. Y'all have a good one.